Good morning, seventh graders. This is Mr. Cahiga, and we're going to go over the three branches of government, the notes, and the slideshow you're going to use to do your notes. The goal today, your goal is you'll be able to identify the three branches of government. Your language goal is I can explain the three branches of government using my notes. Your direction slide is on slide 2. This is what you have to do today to complete the assignment. Direction number 1. On slides 10 through 13, write at least three facts about that branch of the government. Be sure to use your own words. Here's slide 10. That's about the legislative branch. Here's slide 11 about the executive branch. Slide 12, the judicial branch. And then your checks and balances on slide 13. Please remember to use your own words. It's very easy to tell when you all copy and paste information that is not yours. Please don't steal other people's hard work. It's not stealing if you put the information in your own words. Please do not copy and paste. It's extremely easy for me and Mr. Reynolds to tell when you all are copy and pasting. That's called stealing. Please don't do it. Okay, back to the directions. Number 2, add in one picture to represent that branch of government. You may draw a picture, or you can find a picture online to plug in there. So see, for example, in the legislative branch slide, I have a picture of the U.S. Capitol building. Okay, this picture relates to the legislative branch because this is where their legislature meets to make the laws we have to follow in the United States. So in the legislative branch slide where you're taking your own notes, you would add a picture here. Again, you're going to add your own picture here. And then in the box here, you're going to write one sentence telling me why you chose that picture. So again, I chose a picture of the Capitol building for the legislative branch because this is where the legislature meets to make the laws we have to follow. Direction number 3, write a complete sentence explaining why you chose that picture. How does it represent that branch of the government? The Constitution. This is the document that sets up the structure of our government. It was written during the Constitutional Convention in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and signed and ratified, means passed by all states in the United States at the time on September 17th, 1787. The Constitution sets up 3 branches of government. It sets up the legislative branch, where our laws are made by our Congress members. It sets up the executive branch. This is the branch that the president is in charge of. Right now, our president is Donald Trump. He is in charge of the executive branch of our government. And then finally, the judicial branch. This is where our courts exist. They interpret the laws. Let's start with the legislative branch. The legislative branch makes the laws. This means that our Congress members, what they do is they write laws and then they have to pass it through 2 bodies. The legislative branch is made up of Congress. The 2 bodies that make our laws are called the Senate and the House of Representatives. The Senate has 100 members. Each state gets 2 senators per state. There are 50 states. 2 times 50 is 100. So there are 100 senators in our Senate. The House of Representatives has 435 members. Each state has representatives in the House of Representatives. The number of representatives each state gets is based on the population of that state. So, for example, we have 8 total representatives here in Minnesota, and that is based on our population. South Dakota has 1 representative in the House of Representatives, and that is because they have a much, much smaller population than in Minnesota. One thing they do is they approve presidential appointments. What that means is anyone that the president recommends to be a judge, to be an official in the executive branch, the Senate and the House of Representatives must approve those people before they can start doing jobs in the government. That's one check they have on the executive branch. Let's go to the executive branch. Again, this is the branch of government that our president is in charge of. The executive branch is responsible for enforcing the law, which means they sign laws into government. Our president makes laws official by signing them into law, or he vetoes laws. To veto a law means to cancel a law. So laws that are passed by the Senate and the House of Representatives go to the president to be signed into law. He can either make that law official by signing it into law, or he can cancel the law, which means to veto. He can pardon people, which means people in jail. He can sign a document canceling their sentence and getting them out of jail. He appoints Supreme Court justices, which means that he recommends people to the Supreme Court that he wants to do that job. Remember, one check that the legislative branch has on presidential recommendations is they can cancel that or they can approve it. And then the president is elected, of course, every 4 years. They are not allowed to be elected more than twice. We do not want to put ourselves in danger of having a dictator, having a king, having an authoritarian ruler in the United States. So our democracy calls for a president to be elected every 4 years and is only allowed to be elected twice. This ensures that we have new people every 8 years or every 4 years, so we don't run the risk of creating a dictator, a king, an authoritarian ruler. We do not want one person making laws for our country. That is not a representative democracy. Then we have the judicial branch, where our courts are. These are our courts, judges, lawyers, prosecutors. They all operate within the judicial branch. They interpret the laws. What that means is they decide whether laws are constitutional or unconstitutional. Another way to say that is they decide whether laws are within the law or whether laws break the law. Another way to say that is the judicial branch decides whether laws are fair for everybody or unfair for everybody. The Supreme Court is in charge of the judicial branch. Supreme Court judges once again, are appointed, which means recommended by the president. There are 9 of them. The reason why there's an odd number is so we can have a majority decision on court cases in the Supreme Court. If there were 8, you run the risk of having 4 judges deciding against something and 4 judges deciding for something. When there are 9 justices, there's a clear majority in every case, which means there are always going to be 5, 6, 7, 8 judges that are for something or against something. You do not run the risk of a tie on court decisions when there are 9 justices. When a Supreme Court judge is recommended by the president and passed by the Senate and House of Representatives, they serve on the Supreme Court for the rest of their life. The reason for that is you do not want any sort of bribery. You don't want anything influencing a judge and their decisions in Supreme Court cases. So if they serve for the rest of their life, they don't have to please anybody. They don't have to please anything. They have no affiliation, right? So they don't have any allies. They don't have to worry about that because they have their job for the rest of their life. No one can threaten their job with bribery, with gifts, with promises. That is the reason why they have their jobs for the rest of their lives. If a court case reaches the Supreme Court, they can overturn all the rulings by other judges in this country. The Supreme Court is the last stop for a court case. They are the highest court in the land, and they are in charge of the judicial branch. So these are the pictures that I used. And now let's do one together. Let's do the legislative branch together. So there are 3 facts about the legislative branch. What does the legislative branch do? Well, they make the laws. So I'd go down here. One fact about the legislative branch today is that they make laws. And now it is your job to fill in the other 2. And then you must do the same thing for the executive branch, the judicial branch, and then the checks and balances. The checks and balances you will find in this video on slide 8. Please do not forget to add a picture and write 1 sentence explaining why you added that picture to the slide. If you have any questions, you can join us for the office hours posted in the updates in your American Studies Schoology course, or you can email Mr. Reynolds or Mr. Cahiga. Have a great day, everyone.